Hi everyone, I'm really glad you're here because in this module, you're going to learn all about stress and especially how stress impacts the brain. I'll be talking a lot about what stress really is at a physiological level, at a hormonal level, and of course, I'll be talking all about the many different types of cognitive and intellectual and emotional functions that stress impacts because your brain is responsible for those functions. And stress has a massive impact on the brain. We'll also be talking about how stress and sleep interact. And it probably is very clear to you already. If you haven't had personal experience with it, you probably know somebody who knows all too well this intimate interaction between sleep and stress, where maybe they're very stressed out at school, and because of that, they're not sleeping very well. And then because they're not sleeping well, the more stress hormones their body produces. But now I want to talk about the impacts that stress has on the brain that are independent of sleep, but also how they interact with sleep. When we go through the stress content, I'd like you to reflect deeply on how this information affects you on 3 different levels. First, think about how is stress impacting you personally, both at school and at home. And I'd like you to be really honest about this if you can, because stress can be insidious and it manifests differently for each of us. And for some, it can be really hard to see what that impact is and the impact it's truly having on you. It really does come out in different ways. I like to say stress always finds a way out, but the path it takes can be very different from one individual to another. So think really seriously on a personal level about how that happens for you. How are you carrying stress? How much stress are you carrying right now? What are the stressors, the things either at school or in your life that are manifesting themselves as stressful? And how are you coping with it, do you think? It might take a little bit of time for some of you to delve into yourself to see how is it impacting you. Maybe it is impacting your sleep. Maybe it gives you an upset stomach. Maybe you're getting headaches. Maybe you find yourself extremely temperamental. Maybe you have a hard time focusing. It can really manifest in one or a combination of these different ways. So once you have a good handle on how it's affecting you personally, then I want you to consider how it might be impacting your friends. This is especially the case if there's something stressful going on at school right now, but there may be stressful things going on in your friends' lives as well. And then finally, I want you to also think about how stress may be affecting your family. How do you think stress impacts them? And is it similar to the way it impacts you, or does it look different? So as you process this on these 3 different levels, something important will happen, which is that you'll get familiar with stress and all of its many guises and how it affects the different people who are important in your life. I will be talking about stress in a way that's applicable to all of these domains. So of course, think about it in terms of how it is manifesting at school first and foremost, but you'll benefit from this content in a much deeper way if you can also think about how it's affecting you across the different areas of your life.